offensively. But now bringing Molly back, I think that's going to change the game for us, swaying it back to being neutral, that we can do a little bit more.
Sioux City brings multiple challenges to the table with you, and they're one of those teams, sometimes when you look at a team, they're 4-6, you say, yeah, they're a 4-6 team. I don't really feel that way about Sioux City. I think it's a team that went through a rough patch. They definitely had their injury bug, and now they're coming in and they're trying to make this push and get in the Final Four for the playoffs. It's a team that is very dangerous, and when they're healthy, they have a lot of challenges for you, including special teams. It's a very good special teams unit. Talk about the Bandits and some of the things you've been preparing for them.
Well, like you said earlier, that defensive line is the best defensive line in the game. They bring it off the edge as well as up the middle. It's led by Peaster. It's led by Claude. They have guys that can make game-changing plays at a blink of an eye. The linebacker, number 18, I always can't pronounce
Zach Slugger.
Yes, that guy there he's a thorn in my side.
Yeah.
He's very physical, very athletic. He could do everything you can ever want out of a linebacker. A secondary, always physical. Coach Lobin is, if not the best defensive coordinator in the league, he's definitely up there. Going against Georgia, he was a great quarterback when he played, and he's a great offensive coordinator. And then they do have Bruno. I did see him down there as well. So Bruno, they saved him just for this game to come back, and he said that when I just saw him in the hallway there. So
and you're like,
cool.
Oh, thanks.
Right, I was like, thanks for that favor. You couldn't just wait one more week, but no, he had to come back for this game. So definitely, it's going to be a great football game. Everybody need to come out and check this out. But it's going to be a very physical football game, hard-nosed football game, and I know our guys are definitely prepared. Better than what they were prepared that last game. And like I said, I'll take that on the chin for me. But I think they learned a very, very valuable lesson, and understanding not to take anybody lightly, and it doesn't matter what you did the time you played them before. That has no bearing in what you're doing today.
Let's talk about the list of goals and what this game means for the Salina Liberty and your squad. You have to win one of your last two games, either tonight against Sioux City or on the road next week against Wichita, to clinch that home field advantage for both of the playoff games. We know first round July 10th is going to be here at Tony's Pizza Event Center. Now the championship game and where that field will be played on is up for grabs. Focus tonight on that goal and knocking that off the list as we go is very important, isn't it? And I think the guys are there.
The thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that there has not been a CIF champion that won a national championship on the road. All the home teams have won it. So the best way to do that is clinch home field. So that's always been we only have two goals every year. Far as an organization, it's to get the number one seed, home field throughout, and to win a national title. That's what we try to do on the field. Off the field, yes, we try to move 2 to 3 guys up a year, and we do our different things. Coach Martinez and I are talking to the different scouts and personnel people from the NFL, CFL, XFL, things of that nature as an organization. But as far as just what we can
just a different board. Yeah, that's his mix. That's just him. This is Sioux City's audio, not Devon's. This is what we're going to have to do. So, is it overmodulated or is it just loud?
team with Tracy Brooks. And Dominic Carson, once again, a scratch for this game.
Inactive for the second game in a row. Two receivers on the left-hand side in motion. Tracy Brooks pitch out that way. They want to run it again inside of the 10, and a pancake block by Kamali Matthews. He just took down Ben Peaster in the backfield. Boy, it's good to see Kamali back.
Yeah, and it's good to see that. And after he pancaked Ben Peaster there, Nick Bittinger able to drive his guy clear off into about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, about over the wall with 2 feet off the ground.
Kelvin McCoy, the southpaw center, brings his offensive line to this line of scrimmage. First down and goal from the 7. Tracy Brooks in the backfield, right hip of Mitch Kidd. They're going to fake the pitch out this time. Kidd to the end zone. And a wide open Waheem Bird. 3 touchdowns last week. The reigning offensive player of the week in Champions Indoor Football just got another one. 6-0 Liberty on the pitch and catch. Mitch Kidd to Waheem Bird.
Could a guy be more wide open?
No.
Across the back of that end zone, and that was just such, as you said, pitch and catch. An easy target for Mitch Kidd to connect, and with Waheem Bird, that's his go-to guy.
It's our go-to guy at halftime.
That's exactly right.
Our guest, the Precision Electric Player Profile, had a chance to sit down with Waheem Bird. That's coming up at the half. 7:04 left to go. First quarter. Jimmy Allen on for the extra point. Calvin McCoy will snap it back to Tracy Brooks. Pressure on the kick, but Jimmy Allen is going to put it through. 7-0. Liberty take the lead at our first media timeout. 6:53 left to go. First quarter. Liberty out in front after each team has had a possession here on KINA. Back here at Tony's Pizza Event Center, dressed to the nines night. Russ is what they're calling it. Some people dressed up, some people not. We're not because it's hot where we're at.
It is very hot up here.
Brian Berner on the field. Good drive there by the Liberty to open up and get down the field. A lot of it running by Tracy Brooks.
Hey guys, I want to say one thing.
Yes.
You talk about how hard Tracy was running on that drive. He was running just as hard sideways the majority of the time, spinning out of those would-be tacklers.
Here's the kick by Jimmy Allen. This one's going to be tough to handle for Sioux City. It's going to roll all the way back in their own end zone and then take a hop over the wall. That's probably going to benefit Sioux City there, Russ. I think they would have had trouble getting it out of the end zone, possibly looking at a one-point rouge with a tackle in the end zone, but then that ball took a hop over the wall, and it's going to be able for Sioux City to bring it back out to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I wasn't able to tell right there who tried. Probably a good move not to try to stab it as it went over the wall, knowing that, you know, the worst field position you're going to have is at the 5-yard line. Jimmy Allen needs that after what happened last week up in Omaha, struggling in the kicking game, not only on kickoffs but extra points and field goals. And maybe Jimmy Allen can be, you know, hypothetically 2 for 2 on that. 2 kickoffs now, and then that field goal.
So Sioux City back buried deep at their own 5-yard line. Charles Dowdell hasn't played organized football since 2018. He was a part of the Sioux City 2015 championship team, a big part. 45 touchdowns, 2,000 yards, and he's going to be sacked at the goal line. It will be interesting to see ball placement on where this might be as Travis Taylor got all revved up and went after Dowdell. It's a big, big loss of 4.5 yards, and they are discussing now where placement of that football is. Looks like they're going to say he was outside of the goal line.
Yeah, the ball, you know, Dowdell reached the ball out to save when his knee went down in the end zone to mark where the ball was at. nonetheless, a great start for Salina's front three up there with Jake Latimer on right now and Travis Taylor on the outside, and it appears to be Ishan Funny in the middle.
Funny right now playing the nose tackle spot, backed up by Naquan Thomas. Here's Dowdell back at his own wall. He's going to unleash one down the middle of the field, has a receiver, and he's wide open, but drops the football. Damon Powell had the coverage beat and dropped the ball. Brian Berner, you were looking straight down the barrel of that one.
Dowdell dropped a dime in there for Powell. Yet Isaiah Barfield, Trey Matthews coming back, but that ball was in Powell's hands. Couldn't complete the football play. He hit the ground, that ball came loose. So a good break that time goes the way of the Salina Liberty.
Unable to complete the catch on that play, Damon Powell. That would have been a big one.
Had him burnt.
Instead, back now, 3rd down and long. And what are we doing here? Sioux City has challenged that he did have the football. So here we go.
We've seen this enough times in the Tony's Pizza Event Center, the outcome of this one.
Yes, but we will take a break. Let's take 2 minutes back with the review result, hopefully. 7-0, Liberty lead it here on KINA. Spot backed up by Naquan Thomas. Here's Dowdell back at his own wall. He's going to unleash one down the middle of the field, has a receiver, and he's wide open, but drops the football. And dropped the ball. Brian Berner, you were looking straight. Now 3rd down and long. And what Tony's Pizza Event Center, Devin Haney along with Russ Kossel, Brian Berner on the field, Big Sam Purdy's producing and engineering this presentation of Salina Liberty football, game number 10 already, as we make our way through the month of June, and we'll have a championship July to look forward to. Already coming out yesterday with the news, Russ, that the Salina Liberty will host the first-round playoff game right here at Tony's Pizza Event Center on July 10th. So it appears the league following suit with what they did in 2019, and that is take Independence Day weekend off. Of course, July 4th on a Sunday this year. They're going to give everybody that weekend off, a chance to regroup, and then the Final Four will start play the following weekend. The game here for the Liberty first round will be July 10th.
Yeah, and get out, get your tickets. Come support this Salina Liberty team. Is, you know, they battle all year round. They need you in the seats as we got the white hat coming back out. Looks like it was confirmed incomplete pass. So that would tell me that there was video evidence that showed it was incomplete.
Well, that play was going directly at a camera right over Brian Berner's right shoulder. So if you are going to get an angle, that would have been it. So hopefully we can get away from we had no video to confirm or deny anything. I did not do it. One of those deals.
So shout out to my cameraman for having the good vantage point.
So now that will put the Liberty back on defense here, trying to force another safety, or excuse me, a safety. They were close on the first down play. High snap, Dowdell brings it down, and is going to throw a quick out over the left-hand side. Boy, he is going heavy to Damon Powell. Powell will make the catch at the 12-yard line. It'll get Sioux City out of the hole, but now bring up 4th down and about 4 with the line of scrimmage at the 12-yard line.
Yeah, 4th down on the year. Sioux City 12 for 25 for 48%. Good for 3rd in the league. Appears they're going to bring on kicker Tyler Stolen.
Stolen will kick this football from his own 5-yard line. High snap. Dowdell has to go up and get it, and that's going to throw everything off. This ball's going to shank to the right and out of bounds, and the Salina Liberty will get the ball out at midfield, it appears. So Dowdell in there, even to hold Brian, he had to get a high snap, and there's just a disconnect now between center and quarterback with Sioux City.
Yeah, that's been the Achilles right now for Sioux City, is that exchange. All things considered, I think they were fortunate to be able to get the ball where they did. The rush that Salina had going on there, Kendrick Harper, had he gotten an opportunity, I think could have got the ball and potentially got beyond that 25-yard line.
So Sioux City playing defense now. Liberty at the midfield stripe. 25-yard line after the missed field goal. So far, Sioux City now 0 for 2 on field goals. 2 guys in motion. Here's the fake to Brooks. It's a naked bootleg off the read option for Mitch Kidd, and Magic Mitch takes it inside the 15-yard line and gives himself up against the wall at the 13. Big gain of 12 yards for Mitch Kidd.
And not something you see from Mitch lately. We saw him dance around in the pocket when he has time, goes slide step to find the wide receiver. Just a great naked bootleg there by Mitch Kidd. Way to sell it out to Tracy Brooks, able to get up the field for a first down.
Well, and it was bought by the whole Sioux City defense as well. Mitch Kidd had time and room to run. All receivers on the right-hand side. This time they're going to give it to Tracy Brooks. A little hesitation in the hole. Now he's going to explode to the 10, and there's Kamali Matthews pancaking another defensive player for Sioux City, and now Sioux City gets up shoving and pushing. But, Brian, that's what Kamali Matthews does. He finished his blocks, and he is able to just take people down upon will. We talked about it. He's the best offensive lineman in the league when he's playing.
Oh, without a doubt. And you have to wonder, what did Sioux City think when they pulled in and saw his name on the active roster?
Uh-oh. Simple as that, I think. 2nd down from the 10-yard line. Here's the pitch out. Tracy Brooks. He's going to be corralled in the backfield this time. Nice defensive play by the Bandits, as they were able to take Tracy Brooks down for a loss all the way back to the 14-yard line. Loss of about 6 on that play. So the stretch play not working there for the Liberty will force them into a 3rd down and long. 3rd down and a little more than 10. 2:22 left to go here. First quarter, 7-0 Liberty, as they were able to score on their first drive.
Watch the drag route across the back of the end zone here for Salina.
3 receivers right-hand side. Kidd looking straight down the middle, has Steinwalks. Chad will pull it in at the 10, spin his way to the 9, maybe even the 8, as they're on the near side wall right in front of this, and that will bring up 4th down and about 5 for the Liberty.
It looks like no hesitation by Coach Haran O'Neal to leave the offense out on the field here with Mitch Kidd at the helm.
Jimmy Allen just had a bad day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the only way you can sum it up. Last week in Omaha. And here on 4th down, interesting, the Salina will leave their offense on the field. 3 receivers, right-hand side. Tracy Brooks, a solo to the left, empty backfield for Mitch Kidd. Kidd wants to go to the fade route, back of the end zone, a fight for the ball. He wanted Steinwalks, and I don't think that ball ever got the elevation on it that he wanted. Steinwalks 6'4", and the helmet was the target that time where Mitch Kidd's football was going, and a turnover on downs. That'll bring us to our second media timeout. 7-0 Liberty, 1:24 left to play. Sioux City with the football when we come back here on KINA. center. Devin Haney, Russ Kossel, Brian Berner on the field. As we are working our way through game number 10, Salina Liberty football. Liberty come in after losing last week to the Omaha Beef in a 4-point game, 39-35. And an interesting conversation in pregame with Ron O'Neill about the refocusing and just kind of hitting the reset button this week for the Liberty. He said he had a coaches meeting on Sunday. Usually, he said everybody takes the day off from football on Sundays. They pulled into town about 2:45. He told us by 2:50 he was on the phone setting an appointment for the next morning. About 8 hours later at 10 a.m., having his coaching staff come in. He said also player meetings. They usually watch film. They adjust things. They look over things about 45 minutes to an hour every Monday. He said that meeting took over 3 hours this week as players were opened up and they were able to talk about things. Charles Dowdell out here for Sioux City. Former championship quarterback for the Bandits. Drops back to pass to the goal line. Now he bounces off, steps forward, lets one fly down the field. And he wanted Jeff Mack, it looked like. Actually, check that. It's not Jeff Mack. That's Fred Bruno at the goal line. Kendrick Harper, the veteran defensive back, in on that play, able to keep it from being completed for a touchdown. Fly route by Bruno.
And that's 2 times now we've seen Dowdell come in and just drop a dime the length of the field, and his receivers unable to bring it in. As you talked about it, Fred Bruno had Harper beat there, had 2 steps on him and just couldn't corral the football.
Second down and 10 now after the incomplete pass. 3 receivers on the right-hand side for the Bandits. Dowdell back to pass. Comes up really close to the line of scrimmage, then dumps it off at the last minute. It's going to be incomplete. Damon Powell, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10 after the first 2 passes incomplete.
He had a great hit there by Brayshawn Stewart to come over and kind of break that up, kind of threw him back about 3 yards.
3rd down and 10. Long huddle here by the Bandits. Still 10 seconds left on the play clock. And they are going to take a timeout. Timeout, Sioux City.
Into the first quarter.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, first quarter. 7-0. That's the end of 1. Sioux City with a big 3rd and 10 when we come back here on KINA. Pizza Event Center, Devin Haney, Russ Kossel, Brian Berner. As we are looking to a 3rd down and 10.
28 for 77, 36% on 3rd downs for Sioux City.
1 receiver on each side in motion. Dowdell steps up, gets through the grasp of Travis Taylor. Now he loses the football out in the middle of the field. Somehow gets it back and barrel rolls over the 25-yard line for a Sioux City 1st down. What a play by Charles Dowdell.
Yeah, great job there. I guess if you're going to drop the football there after 1st down and have it bounce right back up to you, that's the way to have it.
Wow. Looked like first he was going to be sacked back at the goal line by Travis Taylor, but he was able to high-step his way out of that. And now Sioux City back in business with a new set of downs. 1st down and 10 at the 24-yard line as they approach the midfield stripe. Dowdell under center. 1 back in the backfield. It's Bruno. Play action. Dowdell wants to step up, going to the end zone. High, leaping ball that hangs in the air forever. Kendrick Harper there to knock it down as Dowdell was going down the field. Looked like Andre London was his target.
And a great job by the defensive line there to get pressure, as it looks like Salina kind of making a few changes here as you got Rusty Becker in the middle and Is Shaq Bradford out on the left-hand side there now?
Shaq Bradford, another good day for him against Omaha. So
Great
he gets
day.
more and more time. Sioux City will spread out this formation now. A receiver lining up offsides. Now he has to scoot back a little bit. Two receivers on the right-hand side. Empty backfield. Dowdell passes it near the first down sticks. Andre Lundgren makes a beautiful catch out in front of his face. Max has those arms fully extended and was able to bring it in with his hands. And that's a 9-yard gain. Will bring up 3rd down and 1.
Guys, the one thing about Charles Dowdell right now, it's been a while since he's seen football action. He looks to be in good physical shape, but if you watch, a lot of times those hands are on his hips between plays. You wonder what his game stamina is going to be like as we progress into this game.
Yeah, again, he was the quarterback for a championship Sioux City team in 2015, but he hasn't played organized football, we're told, since 2018, so it's been a while. Here's the misdirection. They give it to Jeff Mack. He's going to bounce it to the outside, runs into the wall at about the 12-yard line. It'll be a 1st down for Sioux City as they convert a 3rd down and 1, and they keep this drive moving. Still 7-0, Salina leading with 12:35 left to go here 2nd quarter.
When you talk about the veteranness that Dowdell has in this league, handing it off to one of the other veterans in the league, Jeff Mack, who's been around for a long time.
And we were going over stats last week, Russ. Jeff Mack, with Fred Bruno out and also Drew Prohaska out, he's been pretty much the only running back that Sioux City has had, and his stats are just killing it right now. He's near the top in almost every rushing category. This time they'll spread it out again. 3 receivers to the left-hand side. Another receiver coming underneath the formation. Flag on the play. Dowdell steps up, hits Andre Lundgren in the middle. Lundgren cannot hang on to that football, but there are flags on both sides of the field.
You had 3 guys in motion for Sioux City.
Yes, sir.
Can't do that in the indoor game. As it appears, the white hat is, illegal shift. Brian Berner with another solid call.
I may have been off a week, guys, but I still got it.
So that'll put Sioux City back here to the 18-yard line. There are other games going on this week in Champions Indoor Football. The Omaha Beef playing the Dodge City Law tonight at Ralston Arena. And on Monday, the Wyoming Mustangs will be at Wichita to play the Force. So a short week for the Force. They are at home, though, to play the Mustangs on Monday and then the Liberty on next Saturday. Here's another near sack by Travis Taylor. He's able to dump it off to Jeff Mack. Now Mack out in the middle of the field, and an ankle tackle by Naquan Thomas will probably save a touchdown as he was able to bring Jeff Mack down at the 5-yard line.
How about the poise from Dowdell to be able to hang on to that ball as long as he did on his way down, find Jeff Mack, and Jeff Mack just to turn on the jets to make one guy miss, and like you said, an ankle-saving touchdown tackle right there.
It's crazy, too. Travis Taylor has had Dowdell in his sights at least 5 times. Only have 1 sack to show for it so far. Damon Powell will come off the field as this time Sioux City goes heavy. They bring in an extra running back. They go for a total of 3. Claude Davis, the defensive lineman, will lead block. They run it off to the right-hand side. Maybe got a yard on the play as they put Jeff Mack and Fred Bruno in the backfield behind Claude Davis in that little wishbone look formation.
And that's something I kind of talked to you, Brian, about was if they were going to have to play this double linebacker set as they're making wholesale changes right now with Sioux City bringing in that extra offensive lineman.
Yeah, and Salina's coming back with Rayshon Stewart. You know, it's funny, you hear a lot of talking on the bench, and they're going, yeah, he should be a linebacker. So we'll see how he steps up into the hole here.
Again, that same formation. Now Davis and Mack will go in motion. They screen it out to London, and that is well played. There's a flag on the far side away from the football, but coming up, Isaiah Barfield made that play on the screen. That's going to go for a loss pending the flag. What a play by Barfield.
Yeah, just an excellent read as 2 guys coming in motion. So, we got the famous illegal defense. Coach O'Neill I think he agreed with that as he went back to the huddle with his guys and kind of said, hey, come on now. That's a big penalty there.
Yeah, so that will give Sioux City first down and goal from the 2-yard line, about the 2.5. See if they stay with that same heavy run formation. They will. London is the only wide receiver. Claude Davis directly behind Charles Dowdell. And then they have Mack and Bruno both in there. Here's the give. Run to the left-hand side. Here's a spin and a score. And actually, that is not Fred Bruno. That is Kamal Cass. It's almost an embarrassment of riches with the running back spot for Sioux City when they're all healthy, you know it?
Yeah, when you have Jeff Mack, Fred Bruno, and Kamal Cass. And, you know, Cass was a big name we heard the first time that Salina played Sioux City with Bruno and Mack being out, I believe.
So almost 3 yards on that touchdown run. Sioux City now brings it within 1. 9:30 left to go here in this second quarter. Extra point pending from Tyler Stolen. Stolen, a left-footed kicker. He'll step it off. Angle to the right. Dowdell will be the holder. The placement is down. The kick is up. It is good, and we are tied. 9:17 left to go. Second quarter. We're at a media timeout. Sioux City has just tied it up. 7-7 is our score. Back with more Liberty football after this on KINA. Tony's Pizza Event Center, we are tied. 7-7 is our score. Sioux City and Salina. Sioux City comes into this game trying to secure a playoff spot in the Final Four. They broke a 5-game losing streak last week, and they've just had a lot of injuries. There's nothing else to explain about this team. They've had a big injury bug. They're 4-6 right now, Russ, so they do have a chance to get in. And these next two games are big ones, and they play number 1 and number 2 in the league with Salina here tonight, and then they play Omaha at home at Tyson Event Center next week. But still out today, not because of injury, but prior engagement. Dylan Turner, the quarterback. Braden Mintz is still out. Drew Prohaska is still out. They're missing a wide receiver who's out in this game. So injuries are still there. They're missing Davon Bridges on defense, and Henry Livingston is back tonight. He hasn't played. Fred Bruno's back tonight. He hasn't played in a while. It's just it's a mash unit right now for Sioux City.
Yeah, and you talk about all the ones for Sioux City is out. Braden Mintz really comes to mind, as he was kind of early the Swiss Army knife of the Sioux City team. He would middle linebacker, fullback. He even kicked the ball a few times earlier in the year.
So maybe they will have a chance to get healthy and make a run here. Tyler Stolen has the ball in the middle of the field. The first kickoff for Stolen here so far in this game after Sioux City has scored. Tracy Brooks will knock it down, take it at the 6. He'll turn around, gauge what's in front of him, and then run right in to Zach Slugger. And that's probably one of the wrong dudes to run into, as the brick wall does not cave, and Slugger takes down Tracy Brooks just beyond the 15-yard line at about the 16. 9:07 left to go here in the second quarter. Want to stay with us at halftime. The Precision Electric Player Profile will feature Waheem Bird, the reigning Offensive Player of the Week. 3 touchdowns last week against Omaha. And a guy that's just really caught fire lately, and all of a sudden now he is at the top of the Champions Indoor Football standings as far as wide receiver statistics.
Yeah, and he has really come on ever. And you think about it, the game he really came on in would be the second time that Salina played Sioux City, up in Sioux City, when Tyree went down and Mitch came in and I think said, well, you're my man, Waheem.
10 touchdowns since then, right? Here's the play action fake. Kid steps up. Now he's going to tuck it, and he's tripped up by Ben Peaster. Boy, Peaster just had a feast last week against the Wyoming Mustangs. He set a single-season game record for sacks in one game with 4.5 sacks. He also had 5 tackles for loss against the Mustangs. And Ben Peaster, guy that's had some history with football here in Salina, just keeps getting it done for the Sioux City Bandits.
Yeah, and we talked about it. Sioux City, their defensive statistics are just out of this world from first to second where they're at.
2nd down and 8. Mitch Kidd did get 2 yards on that play. They'll pitch out Tracy Brooks this time. Tracy cuts it back, runs into Claude Davis. He will barrel roll ahead, though, to about the 24-yard line, and it will bring up 3rd down and 1. run heavy, Brian Burners. So far, so good for the Salina Liberty offense.
Yeah, it is that time. Tracy gets up a little bit slow after that last carry as he was spun around. It looked like his head and his face mask went straight down hard into the turf. So, hopefully he's going to be able to shake it off. We'll see how he does these next couple possessions.
3rd and a long 2 here for Salina at midfield. They need to get to the 25 and a little more for a first down. Pass in a crowd, and what a catch in the middle of the field. There he is again. It's Waheem Bird cooking it up right in the middle at the 13-yard line in double coverage. How did he make that catch?
Holy cow, yeah. I don't know. Waheem Bird's hands just have been magic. Brian, right in front of you down there.
He's got the confidence right now. I don't want to give it all away, but one of the comments that, one of the questions that was asked on the halftime, when did he kind of start getting back into it? And he made the comment, it was when he stopped the commute, because first half of the season, he'd drive down from Minneapolis, Minnesota just for games and then go back home.
Here's the give. Tracy Brooks takes the football from Mitch Kidd, cuts it back at the 10, goes sideways at the 5, and gets it into the end zone where he can celebrate with his bench. Nice run by Tracy Brooks. It's been a while since we've seen him in the end zone, Russ, but this time he'll take it in from 13 yards away, and it's all set up by the catch from Waheem Bird.
Give all the credit there to Tracy Brooks, finishing that play, but how about that offensive line? You see Kamali Matthews coming off, Nick Bittinger, Kelvin McCoy, all of them, just pancake blocks all the way through the back of the end zone.
Kamali changes that offensive line, not just at his spot, but all 3 spots. There's just a different attitude when that dude is on your team. We just see him. He just doesn't give up on plays. He'll block 15, 20 yards downfield if he has to.
14th rushing touchdown of the year for Tracy Brooks.
13-7 our score now. Jimmy Allen on for the extra point. Kelvin McCoy will snap it back to Tracy Brooks. Allen's kick is up, and it is good. So Sioux City scores their first touchdown, but Salina comes right back a couple of minutes later, and they will put one up on their own. 14-7 now our score, with just under 6 minutes left to play here in this first half.
Well, quiz time, Devin. When was the last time Tracy Brooks had a rushing touchdown? I don't believe he had one last week.
No. I'm going to say, boy, I'm going through my mind here. I don't think it was it at Sioux City?
Yes.
Okay.
At Sioux City. Now, Tracy Brooks still leading the league in touchdowns now with 14. And you got the second leading rusher in touchdowns this year at Jeff Mack at 12. So kind of one more separation there, which I'm sure we're not done seeing Jeff Mack yet for Sioux City.
Right, yeah.
And them two and Cameron Booty kind of snuck up there on him, but them 3 really have kind of separated themselves as the best 3 running backs in this league.
And interesting, too, because Jeff Mack, of course, he got extra playing time with the injuries to Fred Bruno and also Drew Prohaska, but Jeff Mack and Tracy Brooks, they both play on teams that have good running back groups.
Yes.
So, of course, Dominic Carson inactive for the second time tonight in as many weeks with a leg injury there, but here's a Jimmy Allen kick that will hit the top of the wall as it angles to the right-hand side. And that one just came off the foot funny, it looked like.
Yeah. So did it hit the sidewall before it hit the ground?
Hits the sidewall before it hits the ground, put the ball at the 25-yard line. If it would have hit the ground first and then hit the wall, then it would be at the spot where it hit the wall.
Tough for us to see up here. That's why I was asking for a little better coverage down there on the field.
I got you covered. I got your back.
You always do.
So Sioux City will come out now. They will have it at good field position at the 25-yard line, trailing by 7. So far, Charles Dowdell has had some time to throw, but he's also done a really good job dancing around. He has 4 wide receivers in an empty backfield this time. The slot receivers will be in motion. Snap back to Dowdell. He bobbles it a little bit. Now he's going to take off. He has a 5-yard gain, now 10 yards, now 12 yards before Dontre Matthews comes up to greet him. It's too late, though, after a first down carry of 12 yards and taking the football to the 14-yard line.
And once again, a whole nother front 3 on this drive for Salina. As they're back to Jake Latimer, Ishawn Funny, and Shaq Bradford looks to be checking out of the game as Travis Taylor's coming back in. So Coach Ron O'Neill kind of flip-flopping those front 3 guys up there on this defensive set, keep them healthy.
Jake Latimer has been inactive the last couple of games.
Good to see him back out there for the Liberty on that defensive line. Dowdell will have Kamal Cass in the backfield. Pitch out left-hand side. Cass. Travis Taylor fights off his block, and he's able to string that run out. Nice play there by Travis Taylor. Jake Latimer also along with him. But Taylor, boy, we could see him hand-fighting with that blocker all the way out to the wall on the right-hand side of that Liberty defense and able to make the stop, just limiting that run to 1 yard.
Yeah, and Travis Taylor really has stepped up the last few weeks, along with Shaq Bradford, really the edge rushers. You know, you talked about Jake Latimer being out, and they've really stepped up on that outside to create that rush lane.
Two guys in motion, right-hand side. Total of 3 receivers over there. Dowdell goes in the middle to Andre London, and he drops it. London had the football at the 6. He got lit up by Naquan Thomas and dropped the football.
Dowdell's got to be wondering what I have to do. I'm putting the ball in your hands. Just please catch it for me.
Yeah, his receivers are not helping him tonight. A few drops, a couple of big bombs, too.
And I tell you, him sitting out, hasn't played organized football since 2018, I believe. It wouldn't show it right now on this field the way Dowdell is constructing this offense.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of teams in the league that wouldn't mind having him. 3rd down and 8. This crowd here at TPEC starts getting into it. And the referee will blow this play dead. Looks like Sioux City might have taken a timeout here. They did. That will be their 2nd timeout and leave them with 1 remaining. So other games going on tonight, guys. As we look at the schedule, there's just one other one. That's the Omaha Beef at Ralston Arena. They're going to take on the Dodge City Law. And then on Monday, the Wichita Force will take on the Wyoming Mustangs. Then next week, to round out the regular season, Wyoming will be in Dodge City to take on the Law. The Omaha Beef will be in Sioux City to take on the Bandits. And the Liberty will be in Wichita to take on the Force. Those games will all be on Saturday night. Interesting time right now. 4 of these 6 teams will qualify for the playoffs. They'll have basically what is a Final 4 matchup. Salina Liberty right now lead the league 7-1. Omaha 5-3. Sioux City 4-4. Dodge City 3-5. Wichita 3-5. Wyoming 2-6. 3rd down and 8. Dowdell. 3 receivers on the right-hand side. He fakes the pitch out over the middle. Picked off Dontre Matthews. Here comes Detre from the 3 to the 10, 15, midfield 25, and brought down there. Dontre, it's been a while since he's had an interception, but he was able to get that one, and now he's pointing at the Sioux City coach. He feels like the coach got in his way.
Yeah, I don't know, Brian. Did you see anything from down there where you're at?
Well, the coach was in a position to where he probably got into the play, but in his defense, there was nowhere else he could be. He was in the proper position for the coach, and these boards, unless he would have tried to be a hockey official and jump up across the board, that would have been about the only thing that could have happened. So that's just the way it goes in indoor football.
First turnover of the game here, taken away by Dontre Matthews. And he will put his return across the midfield stripe and give his offense the football at the Sioux City 24 with 3:23 left to go. That is a huge play here late in this first half.
And Dontre may just have been a little upset knowing the Salina team has not scored a defensive touchdown yet this year.
That is true. One of 2 teams in the league to not have a defensive touchdown. Mitch Kidd sends everybody in motion, fake pitch out. He wants to go downfield to the end zone, and he underthrows an open receiver. Ed Smith had a step on the defensive back, but unable to get it to fast Ed. Xavier Spann was the closest Bandit in on coverage for Sioux City.
And maybe okay there because, I don't know, Xavier Spann had pretty good blanket coverage over that left hip of fast Ed Smith. So you live to see another down. You're okay with that. Only throw it to where your guy's going to get it or nobody's going to get it.
2:39 left to go. Second quarter. Remember, the Liberty scheduled to get the football to start third quarter. Mitch Kidd, heavy on the left-hand side, all 3 receivers. Tracy Brooks on left hip. Fakes it to Brooks. Kidd rolling out to the right. Throws on the run. Has a receiver, but he overthrows him. Looked like Ed Smith got grabbed that time, and he turns around, complains to the official. The official says incomplete. Clock will continue to roll, Brian.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact, but in defense, not enough to really throw a flag on it. Both players working to gain position. We've seen a lot, takes a lot more to get a flag thrown. for interference.
An interesting play call there is all three receivers were within about 10 yards of each other on that side of the field.
Usually tells you that somebody's in the wrong
Yeah.
spot, doesn't it? 3rd down and 10 here from the 24. Kidd back to pass again. Protection again, good. Kidd's going to take off. Angles out to the left-hand side, gets hit hard, and now a flag will come in on the end of this play as Mitch Kidd able to get 8 yards to the 17-yard line. We might have a bad block here on Salina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be a block in the back. I don't know whether it kind of go against potentially Shelley, as he was coming in a tough situation because with the quarterback scrambling, you just kind of look for that first opponent to try to get a block on. Officials confirm.
Blindside.
Yeah, personal foul. They got a good one. So personal foul, blindside block against Jason Shelley in that Salina Liberty receiving core. This will put Salina now in a really bad spot. Back all the way on a 3rd and 25. Oh, they're going to call just a 10-yarder here.
Probably from the spot of the foul.
Okay.
Kidd to Bird.
4 wide receivers, empty backfield, Mitch Kidd. Here comes the blitzer. It's Claude Davis. Kamali Matthews, though, comes in, cleans him up. The pass to the right-hand side, and now a flag on the offensive backfield.
I believe the defensive coach for Sioux City said, hey, we want to hold right here, so the Whitehead gave it to him, and it was a legit hold there.
And they're going to decline this penalty.
Yes.
And put Salina in a huge 4th down here. Well, they'll have to see if they can get something going here in the kicking game, or at least get it over the wall where Sioux City will have it at the 5.
Yep. Salina brings Jimmy Allen on for the long field goal attempt here. Devin, I'll let you calculate the yardage on this one.
Yes, sir. Looks like Jimmy's asking Tracy to put it down here at the 10-yard line. Will be a 48-yard attempt. Jimmy Allen has made 1 field goal this year. Xavier Spann back to return.
A 1-minute warning.
And a 1-minute warning sneaks up on us. So time to survey and make a plan here for the kicking team of the Salina Liberty. They have a big one in front of them here with 59 seconds left to go in the first half. 14-7, Liberty lead it here on KINA. Back here at Tony's Pizza Event Center, Devin Haney, Russ Kossel in the booth, Brian Berner on the field, and Big Sam Pretty producing and engineering. Back at the KINA studios, it's Eagle Radio Salina. Tracy Brooks on a knee. He will hold the football. That's going to be snapped back from Kelvin McCoy, southpaw style. Jimmy Allen ready to put his foot into it from the 10. Snap is just to the outside hip of Tracy Brooks, but he very calmly gets it down, and Jimmy Allen nails a 48-yarder. Boy, did he need that.
Oh, boy.
From the 10-yard line, ball of placement. What a big kick. That thing might have been good from 58.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the Sioux City coach is so upset out here.
I am.
I don't know if Rusty Becker had a little little flinch right there.
The right end on the offensive line on the protection for the Salina was Rusty Becker. He flinched just a little bit. There was a fly or something that landed on his right arm, I think, and he was just twitching to get that fly off of there. But Brian, a big kick for our guy, Jimmy Allen, and he needed that.
That is the type of thing that can change a kicker's season. he was confident coming in tonight. You know, I had an opportunity. I go, okay, you know, what happened last week? And, you know, he made no mistakes. He just said, hey, I had a bad week. He was focused, and I think having that 1 minute timeout prior to that kick probably helped give him that little bit extra time to concentrate, to focus, to get his target set. Good snap, good hold. And what could be, what I hope for Jimmy is the confidence as he goes on as we hit this final stretch of the season.
And Russ, maybe the player of the play, if you will, was Tracy Brooks, because that ball came back from Kelvin McCoy a little bit on the right hip outside of where it needed to be. Tracy very calmly just took the football, swung it back around where it should have been, and had it there on time for Jimmy to kick.
Yeah, for lack of better terms there, he kind of pulled her out of the holster and put her right down on the ground.
Here's a squib kick now by Jimmy Allen. It goes into the corner of the end zone. Now that's trouble for Powell. He's going to get it up, though, and bring it out, and then tackled by Naquan Thomas at the 5-yard line. Well, that ball kind of sat there at the base of the pad. It was a problem for Damon Powell, but he was able to pick it up and get it out to the 5.
Yeah, Jimmy Allen, that changed his game, like Brian said. That's what he needed on that field goal there, that 48-yard field goal.
In this game, but a lot of drops. He wants to pass to the right. Wide open slot receiver. It's Fred Bruno. Boy, who the heck should have been covering Fred Bruno there?
We talk about it every week, Devin. The middle of the field has become a nuisance for this Salina Liberty defense, and that time was really bad.
Clock down to 44 seconds. Receivers now getting in place. Chains getting in place. Referees getting in place. A movement up front on the offensive tackle on the right-hand side for Sioux City. Looked like Rashad Mungro led a little bit early there.
And you're going to pick him out at 6'6", 330 pounds. People are going to know when you move early, when you're that big of a target on the front of the line there.
Well, he's that big, and he had Shaq Bradford right across the line from him. I think he was a little nervous about how quick Bradford could get around him.
We all know Shaq Bradford being quick, probably one of the, if not the quickest first-step defensive end in the league.
Now some discussion on the field. One official with Huron O'Neill, the lead official with the Sioux City coach on the field with the Bandit offense. And they are going to say false start. They haven't moved the football back yet.
Yeah. A 10-second runoff? A 10-second runoff on an offensive penalty inside of 60 seconds. So maybe they were going to take 10 seconds instead of 5 yards. I'm not sure what was going to happen there.
So that will take them now to 29 seconds on the clock. 1 timeout remaining. And move the football back to the 16-yard line where it is 1st and 15. Again, there's not a defensive back on the side to cover Fred Bruno. Now Naquan Thomas steps over there. That leaves the other side open, and they get it to Damon Powell.
Middle of the field again, wide open in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Naquan Thomas right now is forced to cover both slot receivers, and it's not working out.
Yeah.
Sioux City all the way down to the 19-yard line. First down, 16 seconds left to play. Clock stopped for the movement of the chains. And now Daldell will spike it and take a loss there on first down of a play to go to second down and stop the clock. 13 seconds left.
Yeah, Naquan Thomas, you know, he's leading the league in tackles per game, but I don't know about coverage-wise on if you can guard 2 guys as fast as the slot guys that Sioux City has to offer, but something, Huron O'Neill must have noticed it because he was very adamant coming into the huddle of Salina right there.
Still 1 timeout remaining for Sioux City. Definitely in Tyler Stolin's field goal range now. 13 seconds left. It's a 10-point Salina lead. Huron O'Neill now asking the crowd to get involved. We'll try to get Coach O before he goes into the locker room at halftime. Here's Dowdell, back to pass, flags fly, ball to the end zone, up for grabs, and it's going to go over the wall into the Sioux City bench area.
I don't know if we're going to have a procedure penalty on the offense over here. A receiver came in motion, then stopped, then backed up and went back to the line of scrimmage, so not exactly sure, but it was from the near side judge over there. So they were going to call too many men in motion, but he must have been able to get set there on the near side.
8 seconds. Clock stops on the incomplete pass. 1 timeout remaining. 3rd down and 10. Sioux City has the football line of scrimmage at the 19-yard line. Empty backfield for Dowdell. 1 receiver to the left, 3 to the right. Charles back to pass. Here comes Naquan Thomas on the blitz, and it's going to be up for grabs. Isaiah Barfield breaking it up. Damon Powell went up to try to catch that football, and Barfield there to knock it away. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, 2 seconds left on the clock. It looks like Sioux City's going to bring out the kicking game here. What a great play by Isaiah Barfield on the sideline.
Yeah, that was Keontae Roberts, actually.
Okay.
Numbers hard to see up here for us.
4th down for Sioux City. And Ron O'Neill looks like he will call a timeout. To talk about coverage here for this field goal. Tyler Stolen will be on. We saw his first game for the Sioux City Bandits. Had never played indoor football before, Russ, when we were at Ralston Arena last month, and actually it was earlier this month. And boy, he, not Ralston Arena, Tyson Event Center, sorry. Boy, he played really well in that game.
Yeah, he kicked
impressive.
really well. Yeah, and that kind of, we talked about it last week, and when you go to the Ralston Arena or the Tyson Event Center, them places are made for indoor football. The ceilings are high. It's a kicker-friendly indoor game, if you could say so.
Stolen will have a long one here in front of him. And they're setting up. Looked like they were going to put it down at about the 25-yard line. Now they're going to back up, do it at the 24. It's a 34-yard attempt for Stolen. Dowdell has to get up out of his crouch and put it down. Now he's going to leave the football. Stolen picks it up, passes to Claude Davis, who maybe was eligible. That was a weird play. Dowdell jumped up out of his crouch to try to get the high snap. He did get it, but then instead of taking off and making a play, he set it down on the field like it was still going to be kicked, and then he left it. So that was strange. And Brian Berner's already lost the race with Ron O'Neill as Coach O's going to the locker room here for halftime. 17-7 is our score. When we come back after the break, we will have a visit with Waheem Bird, the reigning offensive player of the week. 3 touchdowns last week in Omaha, has a touchdown already here tonight. And some interesting things with Waheem Bird that you will find out about the Liberty receiver when we come back. It's the Precision Electric Player Profile. Waheem Bird after the break. Liberty lead it by 10, 17-7 here on KINA.
Whoa.
Salina Septic Services provides septic services, including septic tank installation, inspection, and repair. In addition to professional septic tank services, we also provide portable restroom rentals. We have many options available, including portable restrooms and hand washing sinks. Setup, service, and removal are all part of our rentals. Whether you project a long-term construction job or a family gathering, we guarantee a clean porta potty. Find us today at salinasepticservice.com.
Living without pain and being comfortable is something we all take for granted until pain strikes. At the Salina Pain Clinic, your comfort is the #1 goal. Our facility has the only board-certified pain management specialist, licensed support staff, easy parking close to our doors, a single-level facility with no stairs, friendly faces that welcome you into a lobby where your relief process begins. Even our seating has your comfort in mind, providing a chair for every need. Procedures are performed in the Salina Surgical Arts Center, an accredited facility with the latest technology to provide the best care possible. Our staff is licensed and will take the time to learn about you and what your pain means. We're dedicated to providing the best care possible because your comfort is our #1 goal. You'll see local physicians who care about our community. Call the Salina Pain Clinic inside the Salina Surgical Arts Center, 200 South 5th Street, or online at aack.org.
You're listening to Liberty Football on KINA.
Welcome back, Tony's Pizza Event Center. Devin Haney along with Russ Kossel. Brian Berner on the field. We are just about 2.5 minutes away from kickoff here as we start third quarter action. 17-7 is our score. Tracy Brooks with a rushing touchdown, Waheem Bird with a catch from Mitch Kidd, and Jimmy Allen with a 48-yard field goal caps the scoring for the Salina Liberty. Sioux City able to put up one touchdown as well, as they were able to get it into the end zone just one time. So far, defense really setting the tone, but what I'm impressed with so far, Russ, is the expected upgrade of the Liberty offensive line with Kamali Matthews returning. We haven't said a whole lot about Ben Peaster, Claude Davis, and those guys up front that usually dominate games for the Sioux City defense.
Yeah, and it was something we talked about early. You gotta have protection for your quarterback, and that was something that lacked for Salina up at Omaha last week. It was a tough going for Mitch Kidd early to get into a rhythm in that first half against Omaha, and Mitch Kidd has been able to kind of do what he pleases back there in the backfield, you know, sliding from left to right, stepping up in the pocket. We saw Mitch use his legs a little more in the first half of this game, more so than what he has used all year, Devin.
And that's one thing, too, Brian, that I think I've noticed with the offensive line for Salina. They're not giving up penetration up the middle. They're able to take those guys rushing and push them to the outside. That helps buy Mitch a little bit more time in the passing game. We'll get Brian here in a second.
Yeah, I got an update here from Omaha as we got the beef and the law. The end of the first half, just went to the end of the first half. Omaha takes the lead as time expires, 25-22.
Wow. Now we got Brian back.
Yeah, I'm back down here. And, yeah, like you were saying, the way that line is working, they are giving Mitch not only time but the confidence to kind of look to see what's going on. You know, the one thing that I think we're going to see more of is, as crazy as it sounds like, we haven't seen it enough, but his connections with Waheem Bird here into the second half. I think that's the one thing that they kind of lost touch with each other as we went on after that first touchdown that he had. But it's going to be a situation that this second half, Salina needs to come out, take control, and own this. Made reference earlier in the game about where the stats were at. You know, when you look at time of possession, typical Salina, they're being time of possession 18 minutes, 34 seconds for Sioux City to 11:26 for Salina. Sioux City has more total plays, they have more yards, but the most important thing, Salina has that 10-point lead.
And Salina also with the balanced attack for the first time we've seen, probably since week 2 or 3, Devin, early. Mitch Kidd, 5 for 10, 52 yards and a touchdown. Tracy Brooks, 7 rushing attempts for 27 yards. Mitch Kidd, 3 rushing attempts for 20 yards. So you got 5 for 10 in the passing game and 10 rushes. So something Coach wanted to get back to was more of a balanced offense, and that's something you've seen here in the first half.
One thing we haven't talked about a whole lot is Oscar Scott, who is a long snapping specialist and also plays linebacker for this Liberty team. He is inactive tonight, but we see him out there now with the headset on. He is coaching the special teams for the Salina Liberty. Maybe that had something to do with Jimmy Allen's success on that 48-yarder. I don't know. But Oscar Scott, I think it's worth mentioning, the former Bethany College player, now putting on the headset and coaching up the special teams for Salina here in this game.
Yeah, just a solid first half for Salina. A really good football game all around going on here at the Tony's Pizza Event Center between Sioux City and Salina. And Salina's set to receive the second half kickoff here as we're moments away. So it looks like Salina's got just one guy back deep, Tracy Brooks up front. I can't really tell, Brian, is that Brayshawn Stewart in front of you? I can't really tell who's running around here. Now, as they're switching sides, realizing
yeah, that's Ed Smith.
Ed Smith, okay.
Don't give me pop quizzes, guys.
Well, I'm putting you on the spot. You're good at it. You're good at it every other time.
I'm like looking around going, okay, where's he at here? But yeah, Ed Smith. Now, my question to you guys, I'm going to throw, I haven't done this yet. I'm going to show my age. These uniforms for Sioux City remind me, I'm going to go back, the Mean Machine.
I knew where you were going with this.
And when I look at Stolen the kicker, wearing number 22, that is Paul Crew, Burt Reynolds in the original movie.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It's been bothering me all night long. I've been waiting to say it. I had to get it out there.
Well, not only in the original movie, also in the remake, he made his cameo there at the end. Scored a touchdown as he got killed, I thought, is kind of how that thing played out. Here is Stolen with the kickoff to begin the second half. It's going to be taken by Fast Ed back returning this kick, and he's going to take it, what the official said, probably off the wall. Brian, it looked like between the 5 and 10. We're shielded from that. Fill us in.
Yeah, the ball did hit the wall inside the 5, so I think they'll bring it to the 5-yard line.
Sioux City coach not happy. I don't know if it was about the late whistle. They still got it as it was rolling heavy over to that side, and hard for us to see up here. Brian saw it bounce off the wall, so nonetheless it'll be Salina ball. Looks like they're placing it at the 6-yard line.
And I know this might be kind of a duh statement, but maybe the biggest drive of the game here so far for these two teams, because Salina already has the 10-point lead. They go down and tack up another 7 here. Might be kind of tough to get back into this game for Sioux City. Just the way the game's been played, a low-scoring defensive match. I doubt we're going to get in the 60s in this one. Mitch Kidd standing back, heels on his own goal line, has Tracy Brooks with him. This play is going to be stopped before it has a chance to get started here.
Looked like Nick Bittinger on the left-hand side might have come out of his stance a little early. Yeah.
Half the distance to the goal, backwards for Salina. We'll put the football back at the 2.5 now. Mitch Kidd, one passing touchdown. Got Waheem Bird in the first half. Tracy Brooks had a rushing touchdown. And Jimmy Allen with a long field goal, 48 yards. Back to the 2.5. Brooks now will come out to the right-hand side as a solo wide receiver. 3 other wide receivers on the left-hand side. Empty backfield for Mitch Kidd. He slings one in between 2 receivers and ends up with Ed Smith. I'm not sure if Ed was the intended target or not, but the gain is 13 yards out across the 15 and a first down for Salina.
Talk about Mitch Kidd threading the needle, but give the credit to Ed Smith right there. I'm with you, Devin. I don't know if he was the intended target, but he kept his eyes on the ball the whole time, was able to corral and get a first down.
Another throw by Mitch Kidd that just kind of makes you reference back to Magic Mitch. We don't know how it happened. We just can tell you about it. 3 receivers now on the right-hand side. One of them will leave. That's Ed Smith. He'll go left by himself. Pitch out Tracy Brooks to the right. Tracy looking for contact. Gets to the 20. It'll be a gain of 4. Second down coming up for Salina.
Yeah, Waheem Bird out there trying to hold a block, and he held the block until Tracy Brooks ran right up his shorts and said, I'm going to get a couple yards on your back right here.
Kamali Matthews, Brian, coming back in the mix for the Liberty. How important is it for him to walk into this building and still see some familiar faces from 2019?
Oh, he was smiling from ear to ear during warm-ups as he was leaving the field just to see those friendly faces.
Shotgun back here to Mitch Kidd. Tracy Brooks, little stutter step, started out right, now takes a slide step back to the left. He'll go ahead and just short of the first down sticks by about 1.5 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and short. Of course, Kamali played that 2019 season, the runner-up season for Salina, right alongside Kelvin McCoy on that offensive line. He also played with Tracy Brooks, who he's blocking for now. But some new faces around him, too, like Waheem Bird, who has come into the mix. Also, Dominic Carson back here, who has played with Kamali Matthews before in the past, not only here in Salina, but also in Dodge City for Coach Huron O'Neill. 3 receivers to the right. Tracy Brooks on the left hip of Mitch Kidd. He'll come out of the backfield. Mitch, though, looking downfield to the end zone. Touchdown, Ed Smith. Fast Ed got behind the coverage, and a dime dropped by Magic Mitch Kidd for the 2nd time tonight. He has a touchdown throw. This time it goes to the waiting arms of Ed Smith Jr.
And a much-needed touchdown reception for Ed Smith. We talked about him early, kind of just stretched his lead out in receiving yards. Just, Tyree Adams kind of found him a target in Fast Ed Smith. Now Tyree goes down. Mitch comes in, goes to Waheem Bird. Good to see Fast Ed Smith, and that's why you call him Fast Ed Smith. Just burned the defender and was wide open in the back of the end zone.
23-7 now the score, and what the Liberty wanted, they got. Here's the extra point pending from Jimmy Allen. Snap back to Tracy Brooks is good from Kelvin McCoy, and the kick is up, and it is good. 24-7, a quick strike there by the Liberty as Ed Smith gets involved. And boy, the Liberty now, Russ, they have 2 receivers atop the league standings doing battle for who's the number 1 receiver in the league.
Yeah, you talk about, okay, let's go, let's switch gears here and go to the quarterback position, as you still got Mitch Kidd now creeping up into the top 4 or 5 in stats and only playing the last 4 or 5 games. Tyree Adams is still in the top 4 or 5 of a lot of the league-leading categories, and he's been out for 4 weeks. The weapons for Huron O'Neill seem to be just incredible, not only tonight in the last few weeks, but all year. The weapons you can go to, whether it be Mitch Kidd, Tyree Adams, when we will see Tyree Adams back. The way Mitch Kidd's playing, what do you do?
Coming into this game in the wide receiver spot, Waheem Bird leading the league, 50.1 yards per game. Ed Smith's 3rd, 46.4. Touchdowns, Waheem Bird came into this game with 9. He already has 1 tonight. Ed Smith with 11. He has 1 tonight. So now they are at 12 and 10, respectively, for 1st and 2nd in the league in touchdowns. Jimmy Allen ready to kick it away again. Here's the kick. Little squibber's going to bounce at the 20, then take a hop at the 10. Handled by Xavier Spann. Spann shakes off the first tackle. It was Latimer. No, excuse me, a Steinwalks. Now he's going to go through and get all the way past the 20-yard line into Salina territory at the 23. Xavier Spann, Fred Bruno, Kamal Cass. This receiving core, the return core for Sioux City is really, really good.
Yeah, when you're stacked at that position, you talked about it, really any one of them that can get the ball is a threat to score a touchdown every time they get it.
Liberty defense back out onto the field. Sioux City's offense onto the field. 24-7 the score, Salina leading. Looking to clinch up home field throughout the playoffs, both games. They already have the semifinal game set here for July 10th. First down and 10, Sioux City at the Salina 23 as they start this drive. Dowdell turning around, looking, making sure everybody's set. He has 1 lone setback, that's Cass. They fake it to Powell, who comes underneath, and it's a fumble. Salina has it, their 2nd takeaway of the game. Boy, that play looked bad from the beginning. The ball just mishandled, and Travis Taylor, they call him Trap. He was able to trap that football after the fumble for Sioux City. And Salina takes over right where Sioux City coughed it up at midfield.
And that might be some of the rustiness. The first time we saw Dowdell fumble early in the first half and just not really able to get into a rhythm. You talk about the experience he has, but when you have been out of this game for this long, 3 to 4 years, it's going to change. It's going to progress. The offense has changed, and it just looked funny from the start of that play.
Sometimes you have so much misdirection, you misdirect yourself.
Yes.
And that kind of looked like maybe the case there. A timing play that was just horribly wrong to begin with. Calvin McCoy reaches down. He's going to start this drive. Snapping the football back to Mitch Kidd. All three receivers and Tracy Brooks on the left-hand side. Fake pitch out to Brooks. Mitch Kidd wants it all, going to the end zone. Has Jason Shelley. Shelley up against the wall. That ball overthrown out of bounds as he was giving it a look but did not have a chance to get there.
Mitch Kidd trying to get it to Jason Shelley as his first week in action in quite some weeks here.
It looked like Jason was kind of dedicated himself to try to go up for that ball, but then he kind of saw where that wall was at, and I think he knew had he gone up in the air, there was going to be no coming back. He was going to go head over heels over that wall and decided otherwise, so good choice.
Go to places like Sioux City and Omaha, they have the elevated floor on the other side of the wall. The landing's not that bad. Here in Salina, that's not right. You're going all the way down on the other side of the wall. Here's a pass to the right-hand side, Waheem Bird, and it's dropped.
Really, the first reception, Mitch comes out, and that thing was on a laser, so Waheem could catch it. And just one of the first times we've seen him drop a ball, we see him catch incredible catches over the wall in Omaha and, you know, through the middle of the field. And maybe that one just a little too easy for him.
3rd down and 10 now for Salina. They try to convert off the turnover from Sioux City. Mitch Kidd back to throw, gets hit as he throws. Jason Shelley in the corner, got it! Opposite corner from the overthrow on 1st down, and now the dance party is on. One thing Jason Shelley can do is dance.
Yes.
And he is having a good time right now.
And the first one to come over and talk to Mitch Kidd about the dime he just dropped was Coach O'Neill, just to run right over there, right to him. They put on a little dance party of themselves.
And the composure by Mitch Kidd in that situation was fantastic because Zach Slugger was all over him.
Right. Unabated to the quarterback. Nobody put a hat on him. Mitch steps up, know he's going to take a hit, put it where Jason Shelley can catch it, and Jason Shelley just did his thing.
3rd touchdown throw of the night by Magic Mitch. 30-7 now the score. Jimmy Allen has an extra point pending. Snap back is good. Tracy Brooks, nice placement. Jimmy Allen's kick up and in. 31-7 now, and all of a sudden a big run here by the Liberty to start the second half. They have scored 14 unanswered here in the second half. And they've also gone back now, 24-0 run since it was 7-7. An immediate timeout, 8:25 left to go here in the 3rd. Liberty out big, 31-7 here early 3rd on KINA. Back here at Tony's Pizza Event Center, Devin Haney, along with Brian Berner, Russ Kossel, Big Sam Pretty, 31-7. The score now, and Russ, as I said, going into that break, it was 7-7 at one point in this game. Since then, Salina has gone on a 24-0 run.
Yeah, and you wonder, coming off of that, and the special teams play that Jimmy Allen had, that 48-yard field goal, may have changed things a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird to say that field goals are momentum, but really that was. I mean, you think about it because you're like, well, field goal, you didn't score a touchdown. Well, they were all the way back here about the 10-yard line, and it was 4th and forever after that big penalty, after the block in the back, and Jimmy bailed him out there with some points. Here's another kick by Jimmy Allen, hard to handle for Sioux City, but they do handle it, and it comes back down to the goal line and then brought out to about the 9-yard line. They're going to say maybe even to the 10 there by Kamal Cass. Actually, excuse me, that's Damon Powell that time back to return the kick for Sioux City. So the Bandits have to do something here on offense as they will face Travis Taylor, along with Ishawn Funny. And let's see who our third defensive lineman coming out is.
We're going to roll
Still
with
waiting.
roll with two, apparently. Oh, here we
Latimer.
go.
Latimer and Shaq Bradford both came out. Latimer said, "I'll take it." You don't really argue with a Cyclone that much.
No.
It's a rule. 8 minutes left to go in the third. Charles Dowdell back in action here for Sioux City, a championship quarterback. Has his work cut out for him here. Drops back to pass. Wants it long. Now he has to dance around. Here comes Funny. He's going to throw it to the right-hand side into the second row, incomplete. Boy, a lot of time there, but Ishawn Funny kind of took his offensive lineman and stood him up and just started drilling him back.
Yeah, just that never say die attitude by that front three. Usually we're calling Shaq Bradford's name on that one. They drop everybody else out, and he's the only one left rushing. And we've seen him get 2 or 3 sacks out of that deal. But Ishawn Funny able to just drive the center straight back into Dowdell's face.
He is over the center right now as nose tackle. Travis Taylor on the right-hand side, Latimer on the left. Of course, they are backed up by Naquan Thomas, but also now going double linebacker set like they did in the first half with Brayshawn Stewart. Here's movement up front. There's flags down and procedure against Sioux City. That will not help the Bandit effort. Back to the 5. Go the Bandits.
And once again, Salina going with that wholesale change up front. It seems like about every other drive they're rotating 3 in, 3 out on that front defensive line. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad problem to have. In basketball terms, John Calipari tries to do that at Kentucky a few times, and it didn't work out so well for him last year.
Back to the 5, second down and 15. Dowdell will have an empty backfield. 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. Slot guys are in motion. Back to the end zone. He backpedals. Now he wants to go across the grain. He does to Damon Powell, and Powell is stopped in his tracks by the former Jayhawk, Isaiah Barfield. Right at the line of scrimmage, maybe got 2 yards. Boy, he got a better spot than what I thought. Holy cow. They're going to say he made it to the 8. Still 3rd and 12.
Yeah, great coverage there by Salina's secondary. Sioux City has struggled on 3rd down all game. I believe they maybe have one first down off a penalty, if I can recall.
Big 3rd and 12 here. Those 3 defensive linemen are going to pin their ears back. 2 linebackers. Dowdell back to pass. Here comes Brayshawn Stewart on a blitz. They left Red Bruno open. He has the football at the 15. Still some work to do. Has 5 yards to get. He will not get there as he is taken down at the 16-yard line. Barfield and Latimer, the 2 former running mates in the Big 12, both converged to make the tackle.
Yeah, an interesting play call there by Huron O'Neal as the left defensive end dropped back in coverage, and Naquan blitzed to take his spot and was able to force Dowdell out of the pocket, but able to find him in the middle of the field.
5:40 left to go. 4th down and 4. Sioux City may not have a choice here. They might have to go for it, and they are. Dowdell will dispatch 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. They go 2 by 2. Slot guys will be in motion. Sioux City needs 4.5 yards across the 20 to get the first down. Dowdell, little pump fake. Lost the football. It's free. Latimer had a hand on it. Now Dowdell picks it up. All the way back to the 2. He's going to take off running. Green space in front of him. He'll have the first down. Tackled from behind by Travis Taylor at the 23-yard line. Oh, wow.
A whole lot just happened right there.
Brian,
I don't know.
Incomplete pass?
To me, it looks like it should have been an incomplete pass. The arm it appeared was going forward. And so as soon as it hit the ground, that should have been incomplete.
They will review. 31-7 is our score. We'll step away. 5:12 left to play. And a pending review on a big play here. Either Sioux City turned it over on downs on an incomplete pass, or Charles Dowdell had some Sioux City magic with him. Back with more Liberty football after this.
Smoky Valley Distillery in downtown Marquette, crafting the next generation
Back here at Tony's Pizza Event Center, the review holds the play. They said he fumbled the football, did Charles Dowdell. It was not an incomplete pass, and then he was able to recover it and then pull a rabbit out of the hat, able to run all the way out to the 24-yard line, get a first down, and keep this drive alive. That could have been the game.
Yeah, because Salina would have been deep in Sioux City territory right there.
31-7. Salina leading, Sioux City with new life. New set of downs here at midfield. Two receivers crossing over right to left. They go in motion. Little screen play on the bubble out to Damon Powell, and he is wrecked. Just wrecked at the 25-yard line. Ishawn Funny comes out there along with Shaq Bradford. Also, Keontae Roberts, who's played well tonight.
Yeah, and Ishawn Funny coming down with a head of steam at 6'2", 277, just laying out right there. Just a great play by Salina's defensive.
2 yards on the play. 2nd down and 8. 3 guys go to the right for the Bandits. Here's a snap. Back to Dowdell. He wants to go long. Wants it all. To the end zone. It's up on the jump ball and incomplete. In on coverage that time was Kendrick Harper. Sioux City looking down the field to Sammy Epps. Once again, good coverage by Harper. 3rd down now after the incomplete pass.
And the first time we've called Sammy Epps' number, he's put up some good numbers this year. I don't have them, but in the first game that Salina had, Sammy Epps had a big game.
Yeah, he did. I had to think about that. I kind of forgot about it. 3rd down and 8 for the Bandits. They'll line up now and call timeout. Timeout taken by the Bandits. That leaves them with 2 remaining here as we are 3:43 left in the 3rd. 31-7. Salina leads it. We'll step away for 30. Back with the 3rd down after this. Tony's Pizza Event Center, the place for Salina Liberty football, game number 10 of the 2021 season. So far, a good one. Salina out in front, Brian Berner, 31-7, closing the first half and beginning the second half in good form.
Yeah, Salina's come out and done what they need to do. And trying to move on, keep this momentum going as we talk here. Francis Flax out on the field talking about the playoff tickets and when those will go on sale. So July 10th will be the playoff game, 6:35 kickoff here at Tony's Pizza Event Center. Charles Dowdell, guys, even though his team is trailing 31-7, continues to impress me from the standpoint, we can't say it enough, the guy has been out of football since 2018, has stepped in here. Part of, I think, the advantage is it's much like what Salina players say playing for Coach O'Neill, playing for Coach Strobin at Sioux City. He knew the system, he knew the playbook. So coming back in, it was if, you know what, just like I was gone a week. Here I am back. I know the majority of the plays. It's just a matter of getting the timing down. And I think we saw where that was a concern the first quarter, some of the exchange from center to quarterback. But I think he's setting in, getting the rhythm. However, is it going to be too little, too late?
3rd down for the Bandits. It's 3rd and 8. Shotgun back to Dowdell. He has a cluster of receivers on the right-hand side, puts one up for the end zone, and misses Fred Bruno. There's a receiver and a defensive back down in the secondary as Isaiah Barfield gets up slow and then goes back down at the 5-yard line. Isaiah's been fighting off injury since the second meeting against Sioux City up at their place, Russ, and it looks like he's a little bit gimpy here. Remember, he went out of the game against Sioux City, and they had to play Tracy Brooks. And again, Tracy Brooks, actually that might be Brayshawn Stewart, comes out on the field.
Maybe a little more depth now after that game, and You talk about the last time Salina was up playing Sioux City in Sioux City, just a slew of injuries that Salina had to overcome for that game.
Everything was kind of on cruise control until that night. Then it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
and all in the first quarter, too.
Yeah, first 2-3 drives of the game. You had Josh Hughes go down, Tyree go down, Isaiah go down.
31-7, 4th down. Now after the incomplete pass. Everybody on the left-hand side for Sioux City. Dowdell to the end zone, and it's incomplete. He threw it up over the wall, and it's a turnover on downs. I don't know what Sioux City is arguing about. Fred Bruno arguing with one of the officials, protesting something. But that ball is incomplete, and Salina's defense gets off the field. Haran O'Neal super excited about Keontae Roberts, and he continues to play well.
I don't know if Fred Bruno wanted pass interference, but I'm not sure you're going to catch the ball as we're reached a media timeout.
3:14 left to go in the third. Still 31-7. Salina will have the football when we come back on KINA. Back out of the media timeout. A run to the left by Tracy Brooks. He is ankle tackled just behind the line of scrimmage. Lost about a half a yard. 2nd down and 11 coming up. 2nd down and 10.7 maybe.
We'll give an update on the Omaha Dodge City game after this play.
Close game going on last time we checked. Here's play action. Mitch Kidd has to get out of trouble. He loses the football as Ben Peaster reached out, stripped the football. Claude Davis is also in there. And now the fight continues between one of the defensive players and Mitch Kidd. The official steps in and said, the whistle is blown, guys. Let's let it go here. And that'll put Salina all the way back to the 14-yard line. It is a loss of 9.
Yeah, one of the biggest negative plays Salina has had so far tonight, stepping way back to 3rd and a country mile. And update from Omaha's Dodge City is at Omaha tonight. The Beef opened up with the ball in the second half on a touchdown, are now up 31-22 with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Omaha looking to solidify their spot as the 2nd ranked team so far in Champions Indoor Football. Here's offsides for Sioux City. Mitch Kidd steps up, has a free play, goes to the end zone. Fast Ed, touchdown. Fast Ed Smith had the coverage burnt, and he was just running free. The former Tiger from Fort Hays State has his 2nd touchdown if it stands. We have to go back and check the flag, but I think that was clearly offsides on Sioux City, and it was. Of course, Haran O'Neal will decline that penalty, and we will get in kick formation for another Jimmy Allen attempt as Ed Smith is anchoring down his lead in CIF in receiving touchdowns. 2 tonight.
And how scary is it now that Mitch Kidd has found another target he can throw touchdowns to wide open over the middle of the field?
Well, remember last time we were back at home 2 weeks ago, Mitch Kidd found Ed Smith 3 times in the first 3 quarters. Ed did not play in the 4th quarter of that game. 37-7 our score. Tracy Brooks patiently waiting on the snap from Kelvin McCoy. Good snap. Tracy catches it clean, puts it down. Jimmy Allen's kick hits the pipe on the right, and the upright rejects it back. That's the first missed kick of the night for Jimmy Allen. 37-7 remains our score, but yet Salina keeps piling it on. Ryan Bernitree Roberts may not be active tonight on the field, but that's not to say he's not active there behind you.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep the mic off as much as possible. He's definitely making his presence known. And a lot of it directed towards the defensive scheme and how Salina is game plan for one Bandit player in particular. But a lot of fun banter, I should say, going on back and forth. So this is a priceless experience to be right here on the bench as often as I am, and I learn a lot.
Got Fast Ed sitting right behind you now. He looks like he might be a little bit tired after running the Liberty or the Bandit defense.
Yeah, between what Ed's doing here and then Tracy. Tracy's got the moves both on the field and off the field, and I think a lot of that, though, Mr. Shelley, I tell you what, his dance move off his touchdown, not only once, but the choreography was twice that he did it. And it was fun because as excited as he was, every member on this team was so excited for him to get that touchdown reception.
37-7, our score. Jimmy Allen set to kick it off with 1:09 left to play here in the third. This is a kick that lands with Damon Powell. He stutter steps at the 10. Travis Taylor takes off diving. Can't get him. Now Damon Powell's going to break it, and it's going to be a touchdown for Sioux City. Boy, there were people flying everywhere for Salina trying to rally to that football rust. None of them, though, could come up with the tackle, and Sioux City gets it in the end zone for just the second time tonight.
Yeah, just a great blocking scheme by Sioux City as we see Steinwalks and somebody else walking up a little hobbly getting off the field, and really the first time we've seen the special teams not handle business tonight.
Yeah. And again, I know just talking to Coach Ron O'Neill, that's been a concern all year long is the special teams performance. He always thinks that they can play better, but the last couple weeks have been really rough. Again, just the second touchdown tonight for the Sioux City Bandits. Damon Powell on that one, able to return it. Looks like Sioux City may have the clock run out on him here to end the third quarter before they get the extra point up. And that will be the end of the third. They will take an untimed down for the try. I was going to say, we're not going to carry that over to the fourth quarter.
Right.
So after the extra point, we will have the end of the third and make our way to the fourth.
Sioux City seems to be surprised that they're not going to run that they have to run an untimed down on this, but a special teams play like that after a touchdown has to be ran.
They're going to go for two. Three receivers on the right-hand side. Kamal Cass, the lone setback. Charles Dowdell wants to pass, a little pump fake. Now he's going to go to the back of the end zone, nearly picked off, knocked down by Dontre Matthews, and that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Fourth quarter's up next, 37-13. Salina leading Sioux City here at Tony's Pizza Event Center as you listen to it on KINA. Back here at Tony's Pizza Event Center, Devin Haney, Russ Kossel, Brian Berner is on the field. Big Sam Pretty producing and engineering back at Studio Central. Eagle Radio Salina, KINA, 37-13 is our score. Salina looking to clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs with a victory here tonight. And then that sets up a meeting next week in Wichita. That may mean nothing for Salina, but mean everything for the Wichita Force. They have two big games coming up this week in Wichita. The Force will play on Monday against the Mustangs, and then they will play the Liberty on Saturday. But another big game going on right now, Russ, in Omaha.
Yeah, another update. 8:46 left to go in the third. Dodge City scores now 29-31. Omaha is ahead with the ball, but a close ball game up there at Ralston Arena.
Here's the kick by Tyler, stolen after the kick return touchdown. This one will hit the turf, hop up over the wall, and the Liberty will start out at their own 5-yard line. 24-point spread for Salina on the good side of things. Their offense comes out here at the 5-yard line. 4 touchdowns so far tonight for Mitch Kidd. Tracy Brooks has a rushing touchdown. On the receiving end of those touchdowns, Waheem Bird with 1, Jason Shelley with 1, Ed Smith with 2. Tracy Brooks will start out on the backfield with Mitch Kidd. Left hip as they sit in the shotgun formation. Here's the give to Brooks. Sweeps it out right. 5-yard gain. Now looking for the sticks. Breaks free. Flag on the play, and he will be brought down after a 15-yard gain. There's a flag, though, at the 10.
Looks like we could have a holding on Waheem Bird.
Okay.
That's
good call. So they will repeat first down. Little Salina, half the distance to the goal, only hurts them 2.5 yards.
This is how quick the indoor game changes. Omaha now scores again, so it's 37-29 to Omaha with 6:51 left to go in the third.
So what you're trying to say, Russ, is we're moving a little faster than they are.
A lot faster.
Already in the fourth quarter here. Here's the give to Tracy Brooks. He has to spin out of a tackle. He will. Now he switches the ball to his left hand, and he will take it out to the 10-yard line. Nice carry there by Brooks.
Good to see Chad Steinwalks out there after that special teams play where he kind of limped off the field. And the passing game kind of changed for Salina when Steinwalks showed up. I believe his first game was when we were down in Dodge City, and he had that big play, and Haran O'Neal just praising that I had a big receiver I could throw to.
Yeah, had 2 touchdowns in that game. Probably should add 3.
Yes.
As Tyree Adams missed him on another play in the end zone where he was wide open. Here's the fake pitch out. Mitch Kidd wants it all, and there's nobody down there that far. Ed Smith was going towards the center of the field. Mitch's ball went down the left-hand sideline.
Somebody zigged when they should have zagged.
That's right. So that will bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Liberty. 37-13 our score. Last regular season home game as the Liberty will wrap it up next week in Wichita. Sioux City will also head home next week as they take on the Omaha Beef. 2 receivers on the right-hand side. Little fake pitch out again to Brooks. Mitch Kidd wants it all again to the end zone. Has Fast Ed, and Fast Ed comes back for the ball and has a face mask full of defensive back. Ed on the play was Kamar Greenhouse. He never turned around and saw the football, and he is able to keep that ball from being incomplete. No flag on the play.
And Ed Smith just unable to plant that back foot going full speed to try to come back to the ball into the defender to draw contact, with him not being able to turn around, just at a full head of steam, and the wall approaching fastly, unable to stop.
4th down now coming up for the Liberty. Football sitting at the 9-yard line. They need to get to the 15 to convert. 12-10 left to go. Mitch Kidd back to pass again. Let's one rip over the middle. Incomplete. Ball in the hands of Waheem Bird, and then he got hit. And the defensive back, Fardown Allen, able to knock it away. A turnover on downs for the Liberties. They give Sioux City the football here at the 9-yard line. Wow.
Yeah, great field position here. I mean, when you got 1st and goal, a turnover on downs there. Maybe wondering why with this lead you wouldn't bring out Jimmy Allen, see if he can get one close, get it over the wall. Nonetheless, 1st and goal from the 9-yard line for Sioux City.
Charles Dowdell brings his offense back on here, as you said, Russ, with a short field. at the 9. Trailing 37-13. Here's the fake to Kamal Cass. Dowdell comes out to the right-hand side. There's nobody there. Naquan Thomas, Jake Latimer able to take down Dowdell.
Yeah, Dowdell just had to get down and get out of the way. As when you got guys like Naquan Thomas and Travis Taylor and Rusty Becker coming at you, you might as well just give yourself up and go to the next play.
Becker is out there. He has seen some limited playing time since coming back and being active the last 2 weeks. He is out there right now, though, at nose guard. Latimer on his left, Taylor on the right. Second down and goal from the 8. Snap back to Dowdell. He's looking left. Lobs it up to the end zone. Incomplete. Keontae Roberts in there on coverage. Had a beat on that football. I don't know that Fred Bruno ever saw the receiver there for Sioux City.
And it almost looked like Fred Bruno grabbed a hold of Keontae Roberts right there so he couldn't jump up and get it because the ball was close enough to the wall. We might have been able to make a play on that.
Third down and goal from the 8. Dowdell putting Damon Powell in motion. He goes to the left-hand side. Dowdell looks back to the right. Little screen play. It's like Sammy Epps, the intended receiver on that play. He caught the football, made it to the 5, but it is 4th down now. 4th and goal from the 5.
And we've seen Salina in this position a lot, and a few times able to really stick them down on 1st and goal. We've seen him at 1st and goal from the 1, and Salina come out with the football. You know, you got 4th and goal from the 5-yard line, a little bit to work with. That middle of the field always comes into question for Salina's defense right now.
Isn't it great being at home where the PA announcers aren't yelling at you the whole time?
Yeah, especially, I mean, the whole game.
Couldn't find enough Advil after that game last week. 37-13. They're going to call a timeout here on the Sioux City side. This will leave them with 1 remaining. 9:45 left to go. We'll step away 30 seconds. Back with a 4th down after this. (37-13) the score. Salina leading, 9:45 left to go. Out of a Sioux City timeout, Bandits 4th and goal from the 5. Dowdell will duck under center. 4 wide receivers, little misdirection. Fake the handoff. Now he's rolling out to the right. Jake Latimer with him, has a hand on him, trying to drop him. Dowdell goes down. Jake Latimer came in and it took some work, but he was able to drop Charles Dowdell in for the quarterback sack, and then he gets a big bro hug from Rusty Becker.
Yeah, just an incredible play by Jake Latimer not to give up there. Probably the first time we have called his name in weeks. I know he's been out for a couple weeks, but even before that, just able to throw the Thor hammer down and turn this ball over to the offense.
Brian, it took some effort. Dowdell, we've seen him escape many sacks tonight, but Jake Latimer wouldn't be denied.
Well, that was one of the things. You know, Jake went in, and that was pure Latimer determination. Interesting thing, when they went in after that play was over, how Jake went to Dowdell, you know, slap on the back to each other, a lot of respect.
Media timeout, 9:37 left to play here in the 4th quarter. We'll enter the home stretch when we come back. 37-13, Liberty forces a turnover on downs. They get the ball back when we come back. Back ready for the last 9.5 minutes of this game. Salina now with the football and a chance to end it. Conversations continue between on-field personnel and the Salina bench. Pitch out, right-hand side, Tracy Brooks. Little stutter step. Tracy then steps through the hole. He was able to get 4 yards on the play after initial contact. Running over there on that right-hand side behind Kamali Matthews. The new old guy, we'll call him. With the team before, took some coaxing, but Ron O'Neill finally got his guy back here on the offensive line after missing Josh Hughes and losing him due to injury.
When Coach O calls, does it really take a whole lot of coaxing?
From a first ballot Hall of Famer, I would say not.
Well, unfinished business, here is what kind of clinched it for Kamali. Here's the pitch out on the fake. Mitch Kidd now passes to Ed Smith to the 21-yard line. Travis Taylor and Kamali Matthews have been teammates, and they've been through a lot of football stuff together. And we understood maybe Travis Taylor got involved in the conversations too and basically told Kamali, hey, bud, you got to come back here because we got some stuff that we left unfinished in 2019.
Yeah, there's a lot we got to take care of, and the lot that we got to take care of has got to fit on my finger, and I need that ring, so I need you, buddy. Come with me.
Of course, they were both racers at Murray State. Kamali got drafted from the Salina Liberty into the XFL. 3 receivers, right-hand side. They go back to Tracy Brooks. He has to leap over a Sioux City defender and then brought down inside of the 20-yard line after a gain of 2. Tracy will get the 19-yard line where it'll be second down and 8.
And prior to that run, from what I can see, 14 carries for Tracy Brooks tonight, maybe 15 depending on how fast the stats update as we're looking at him. But good to see the ground game get back in action for Salina, and a lot of it has to do with them front 3 up front.
Yeah, just unable to run the football last week at all. 3 receivers, left-hand side, little screen on the bubble out to Steinwalks. He catches it, now has some space to work. He's inside the 15, carries the pile all the way to the 14, now the 13 after it's finally whistled dead. That will be a gain of 8 and bring up second down and 2 for the Liberty.
Salina player down.
It's like Nick Bittinger is down.
Kind of looks like, by his reaction, as if he might have gotten hit in the throat. He had a tough time getting the air down. So.
Ron O'Neill over to check on him. Doesn't seem too concerned. Patted him on the back and then walked away. Marlon Lobin, the defensive coordinator for Sioux City, also over there checking on him. He was the first guy there. Now the trainers are not really concerned either. It doesn't look like. They're just giving him some time to get the old air tunnel back open.
And Salina with only 3 offensive linemen on the active roster. We saw this at Sioux City where the new guy who we wanted to see on defense play had to come in on offense, and it appears to be Funny maybe out there on the offensive line now.
Ishan back in to help out here on the offensive line, along with Kelvin McCoy and Kamali Matthews. So hopefully Bittinger is okay. 6:56 left to go. Salina still driving. They have a 3rd and 2 at the 13-yard line in Sioux City territory. Here's the snap back. Tracy Brooks takes the pitch. Went to the right. There's nothing there. Now he's looking for some space, and he's going to go backwards 3 yards. And he's brought down in the backfield by Claude Davis. So that will put them back. Let's see. They're going to put this football down at the 18-yard line where it's going to be 4th and 7.
And no sign of Jimmy Allen.
To Jimmy or not to Jimmy? Ron O'Neill calls a play. He'll leave his offense out there.
And after this 4th down play, we got another update from Omaha.
Steinwalks goes up, sets in close to the offensive line. 2 guys on his outside in motion, and they're going to call offsides. Huh. That's weird. I think they were closer to being onsides than what the Omaha receivers were last week.
Yeah, that was within at least 2 yards and not 6.
You had a really good frozen screenshot of that.
Yeah, I have it. If anybody would like to see it, you can Google it off of the top 10 plays of the week that the CIF puts out is where I found that at.
Also understand multiple plays submitted to the league office on behalf of Salina about calls that were made that shouldn't have been, and
that the officials agreed that shouldn't have been called.
Yes. But that's all in the past. 4th down and 12 after the penalty. 3 receivers on the right-hand side again. Mitch Kidd rolls out, wants to throw back to the right. He's going to unleash it towards the end zone, and the receiver's being held.
Oh.
I don't know how there's not a flag on that.
I mean, arrested in the end zone before the ball got there.
Jason Shelley was back there waiting on the football to come to him.
Looks like Chad Steinwalk's coming back from the corner.
Oh, excuse me,
over
that
there.
is Steinwalk's, yeah, and just got held.
Wow. Okay.
That was almost as aggressive as the hug that Rusty Becker gave Jake Latimer after his sack. Wow. Ron O'Neill wants an explanation now.
I got nothing off of that. Look, the official's pointing at, he did it. He was back there. No, he was back there.
So Sioux City will take over on a turnover on downs. 5:30 left to play.
Steinwalks couldn't even get his hands out of his pockets there. They were being held down.
First down for the Bandits. They start out at their own 23-yard line after the turnover on downs. Dowdell back to pass, little pump fake. Then he throws a duck up in the air. This one's going to be incomplete. And picked off. Dontre Matthews, his second interception of the night. To the 10, to the 15, still running. Detroit to midfield to the 20-yard line. 2 interceptions for Dontre Matthews. And now Jake Latimer going at it with the Sioux City center. Rusty Becker over there to get containment of Latimer. Boy, we don't see Latimer get fired up like that and go after people very often, but he went after the Sioux City center that time. It's Chris Slugger, who's playing center tonight for Sioux City, and Latimer still looking back. But another takeaway. It's the 3rd one of the night for Salina's defense, and the 2nd interception of the evening for Dontre Matthews.
Yeah, I don't. Dontre still trying to sniff that end zone after an interception, with Salina still unable to score a defensive touchdown. But nonetheless, when you can turn the ball over on a team like this with an offense as powerful, I mean, we haven't seen it tonight, but turning them over 3 times is huge for this defense.
That ball came out of the barrel wrong. It was kind of end over end to start out with. First down and 10 now for Salina's offense. They're going to take over basically where they turned it over on downs just moments ago. 4:45 left to play. First down and 10 at the 20. Mitch Kidd back to pass. Peaster breathing down his neck. He goes back to the end zone, and that one way overthrown. Looking for Waheem Bird in the back of the corner end zone.
And Mitch Kidd taking another shot there. Update from Omaha. Looks like we got the start of the 4th quarter about to be underway. Dodge City 36, Omaha 38.
Wow.
So back-to-back scoring affairs here is when Omaha seems to score to jump up. Dodge City comes back. Might come down to a last possession on who has it at the end of the game. But the start of the 4th quarter, Omaha up 38-36 at Ralston Arena.
Here it is 37-13, 4:05 left to go. Liberty leading. They went on a 24-0 run after this game was tied 7-7. Here's the give, Tracy Brooks. He hops through the hole, breaks the line of scrimmage, now darts out to the left, gets inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. A gain of 6 for Tracy Brooks. And that'll make it now 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, a little extracurricular over there is Slugger and Brooks kind of going back and forth, and defensive coach for Sioux City says,
the other
"Come on,
Slugger,
man, take it easy on us. You're hurting us right now."
3rd down and 4 coming up for Salina. Clock continues to roll now, 3:25 left to go. Steinwalks, Bird deployed to the right-hand side. Tracy Brooks will stay in the backfield, and now we'll have a stoppage of play. And it's a timeout for Salina. Ron O'Neill wants to talk about it. Just a little over 3 minutes left to go. 37-13. We'll step away for 30. Back with more after this. Back at Tony's Pizza Event Center, 3:16 left to go. Happy Father's Day weekend to all you dads out there. (37-13) is our score. Salina Liberty trying to clinch home field throughout the playoffs with a win here tonight. Mitch Kidd, 3rd and 4. Back to pass. He puts one off the hands of Tracy Brooks, and then Zach Slugger had a chance at the interception but dropped it. Ben Peaster dropped Mitch Kidd back on the logo at midfield. That'll bring up 4th and 4.
And Mitch Kidd taking a lot of shots here late in this, really the whole fourth quarter. Every time he drops back to pass, it seems like he's picking himself up off the turf. So see if he can get the ball out quicker. Offensive line, has played great. I mean, I don't know if Kamali Matthews coming in just kind of was like, hey, I'm here, let's go, let's play. And it's good to see Nick Bittinger back out there on the field.
Yep, good eye there, Russ. Bittinger is back there on the field. 4th and 4 here. Mitch Kidd back to pass. Up the middle. He gets hit again. And he throws this one strong into the back of the end zone. This one did not feel good as Mitch Kidd pounds the turf with his right arm. As he gets up, not sure if he got the air knocked out of him on that play or just disappointed in the throw, as it was not even close to a receiver. And Salina will turn it over on downs. Once again, Sioux City will take over with just under 2.5 minutes left to play. Spot of the football line of scrimmage here for the Bandits will be at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, and you wonder, at some point, does Saran O'Neal go, you got to get the ball out quicker. We only got one guy suited up tonight.
Sioux City trailing by 24 with 2:27 left to go. First and 10, they'll come out here at the 14-yard line. Long huddle here to start the drive. Latimer looks like still chirping across the line of scrimmage at the center, Chris Slugger. Keep an eye on that. Dowdell with the snap. Back to pass, looking left. Now he's coming back to the right. He'll dump it off, and that ball nearly up for grabs again.
I think he caught it.
Did he catch it?
I think he flipped it back to himself.
Kamal Cass with a catch out to the 20. Gain of 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4.
Salina just a half second too slow at getting over there, maybe being able to pick that one off.
Latimer, Shaq Bradford, Ishawn Funny on the defensive line right now for Salina. Daquan Thomas in there at linebacker. He'll come over and he'll make the tackle after the complete pass. This one goes to Sammy Epps at about the 20-yard line. First down for Sioux City as they continue marching, but we are getting close to the 60-second warning. 1:19 left to go here in this fourth quarter. Still 37-13, Salina leading. Liberty looking for their 9th win of the season. 4 wide receivers, slot guys in motion. Dowdell back to pass. Throws it up to the end zone. Has Fred Bruno, and it's going to be, actually, that's Kamal Cass, and it's knocked out of the hands of the receiver by Dontre Matthews. What a play by D-Trey. And the 60-second warning is here. Dontre Matthews limping around after that play. 37-13, our score. Back with the last 60 seconds of this game. Salina leading it here on KINA. Tony's Pizza Event Center. The last regular season home game we do know there will be another game here, first round of the playoffs, July 10th. Get your tickets now, Tony's Pizza Event Center. Actually, I think they might go on sale. Brian, did you hear that during the Francis Flax update? Are they on sale now, or do they go on sale Monday?
That's a good question.
Okay, all right. I wish I knew somebody that worked here.
I do not have the answer.
We could call. First down, out to the right-hand side. A pass that is complete short of the first down. It'll bring second down and 9 up, but the clock continues to roll here. Sioux City doesn't really look like they're interested in stopping it with their last time out.
I think they're going to clock it here.
As it'll continue to roll down. They clock it. It's fourth down. Dowdell under center. He has it, quarterback sneak, and he Supermans his way inside of the 10 to get the first down. That's a good play there by Dowdell. Now they got to stop the clock to move the chains and get them set. It'll be first and goal from the 9. Clock resets now, chains set. Spread out 2 by 2, 4 wide receivers. Damon Powell has it, and then he is lit up by Dontre Matthews at the 4-yard line. Clock still running. Down to 20. Dowdell trying to get his offense set. Clock still running. 37-13, Salina. 10 seconds from putting this one away. Dowdell back to pass. Little pump fake. Goes to the back of the end zone. Brian Berner, the intended receiver. Isaiah Barfield also in the area with his helmet off. 5 seconds left to go.
Brian had a souvenir. I don't know if he knows that you don't have to give it back in the indoor game.
The referee was asking for it. So.
I had too many people behind me going, give me the ball, give me the ball.
Quick update here before the end of this game. Omaha 45, Dodge City 36.
Stay tuned.
12 minutes to go.
Yep, thank you, and stay tuned with us after in postgame. We'll have Haran O'Neal. 5 seconds left. Could be the last play of the game. 3 wide receivers, left-hand side. Dowdell back to pass. Clock is at 0. Ball in the air. It is up and incomplete in the back of the end zone, and Salina holds on the last play of the game to clinch a 37-13 victory for Salina. They move their record to 9-1 on the season. They will clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs, as they will be here at Tony's Pizza Event Center. We know they have one more road game left. That is next week to end the regular season in Wichita. But the Liberty will be the #1 seed in the playoffs. They have home field advantage throughout. And now another thing marked off the list of goals for this Salina Liberty team after they get a 37-13 victory and complete the 3-game series sweep of Sioux City here in 2021.
That's huge. When you can sweep a team that has the history like Sioux City has in this league, and you're able to take all 3 of them, 2 at home, 1 on the road from them, that's just huge for this Salina team.
So Tony's Pizza Event Center will be the place to get your tickets. We know July 10th will be the semifinal game. We assume the next weekend, July 17th, will be the pending championship game. As we go down on the field, here's Brian Berner with Haran O'Neal.
Coach, congratulations, 37-13 win. You said you had goals at the start of this season, and you've got a couple of them out of the way as far as outright league champions. Now you push home field